I want to talk about another game, a smaller game that I've been having a ton of fun with. It's called Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. You are probably familiar with Deep Rock Galactic if you've played multiplayer PC games in the last few years. It's pretty popular um, dwarven mining game where it's kind of a mashup between classic Tolkien-esque dwarves and science fiction. It's a push your luck, team based, go farther and farther into the tunnels, get as much loot as you can before the time runs out, and you'll be overrun by baddies. How much can you get with your friends? Everybody's a different class. Fun first person game. I really had fun playing Deep Rock Galactic several times. This is in the same universe using the same IP, but it is a vampire survivor like Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. As you know, Vampire Survivor was my favorite game the year it came out. It was my number one game of the year. I absolutely adore Vampire Survivor, and I've been trying a number of the survivor likes. This very much is that. And what Deep Rock Galactic Survivor brings to the equation is not only just really excellent visuals, which it does. I mean, Vampire Survivor is, very famously, the aesthetic is sort of throwback, simplistic pixel art. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, gorgeous game. Still that top-down isometric perspective, but just beautiful and cool looking. Supports super ultra wide, bells and whistles, looks choice. But more than that, it adds a number of, I think, really cool tweaks to the formula, including there are really definite quests that you're on, things that you need to do or should do at any given time. You've got a guy in your ear that's telling you, in the same way that Deep Rock Galactic had. You're this team of miners, in this case, a solo miner, but you have specific chores that you need to get done. And you have your little guy in your ears, like, okay, I hear like the bugs are coming. There's a big swarm headed your way. All that stuff. It's kind of a cool, more focused in a way. And more than that, you're a miner. You're a dwarven miner. So there's actually stuff on the screen that you can mine. So like Vampire Survivor, you've got weapons that you level up and upgrade and acquire that auto shoot. You can play this game one-handed, just like you can with most Survivor games, because it's automatically procking. The bullets are shooting at any, at periodic intervals. You don't need to press down a trigger to shoot anything, but you can also move your character around and run into a cave wall, and your little miner dwarf will automatically start pickaxing the cave wall, and you can break through to certain areas, which is really cool, because when the inevitable massive swarm of bad guys comes from all angles, you can kind of create these little choke points that they have to go through, because their AI routine is to try to get to you. So they're going around the obstacles, and then you can go through it, and they're like, oh, there's a new pathway. Let's go through there. And they'll create a choke point. Kind of fun. Switching up of that technique. You're not just kiting all the time. You're kind of going through. And then also built into that is the fact that some of the areas that you can mine have resources that you want to mine. Gold, even health will be embedded in the walls of the cave. So you can start mining that to kind of, if you're low on health. Cool little tweaks there. Also, it introduces the idea of reloading. So you can, level up your frequency of shooting. You can level up the damage, the crit chance. You can level up all those things as you progress in a given run. But you can also level up your reload speed, because your guns will shoot, and then need to reload. And so there'll be this pause where you're not doing any damage. And if in a Survivor game, not doing any damage means you're probably going to be overwhelmed. So having the reload speed be a factor and needing to reduce that, or one of the choices when you level up is, maybe I want to work on the reload speed. Kind of an interesting tweak there as well. I don't see the dwarves don't twerk.
Does it have
getting anybody's hopes up to see the dwarves twerking?
Does it have an end? Is it mission based in that way that it's like beat these 10 levels and you beat the game?
There are steps to. I haven't gotten there, so I can't tell you if it ends or not. But I think in the same way, the Vampire Survivor is like, well, you go for this long and you're done.
Like
you go
minutes,
down. You another thing it does is you make the big bad come, or at least in the early levels, you make the big bad come, and then you have to escape the level, and you have the pod, just like in Deep Rock Galactic, the original Deep Rock Galactic. You have to get back out. You've gone into the mine, you've gotten what you wanted, and you have to get out as the enemies are coming. In the same way, it'll be this mine that'll let you go deeper and deeper and deeper until you finally get out. And you have to get back there in a certain amount of time. In fact, the first time I ever played Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, I was like, oh, there's a bunch of XP dots. I'm going to go collect those. I'm not getting into my pod yet. And then it was like, doot. Oh, you failed to get out in time. And I was like, well, mission failed, game over. I was like, So it does do that to you. But there's multiple classes to unlock, just like you would expect in a Survivor game that behave very differently. And there's some really cool ones that map, I think, almost 1-to-1 to Deep Rock Galactic. It's sort of cousin game, or I guess progenitor. And they're cool. There's like an engineer type that like does turrets and stuff that I haven't seen in a Survivor game before. And again, gorgeous looking, super fun, very addictive. The upgrades are really, very, very alluring and addictive. I'm having a blast with Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. If you like Survivor games, I think this is at the tippity top of games that aren't Vampire Survivor that are in this subgenre that are worth playing. It's a little more expensive than the Survivor games tend to be. A lot of this subgenre is kind of defined by the fact that Vampire Survivor is so cheap. This one's a little more expensive, but I think well worth it, and super fun. Even if you've never played Deep Rock Galactic before.
The name's a little on the nose, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. It would be like calling it Deep Rock Galactic Souls-like.
Yeah.
Or Souls, I guess.
I mean, that sounds like a great idea. You're struggling to make a name for yourself in a crowded marketplace. Tell people what you are. Don't hide the ball,
It's true. It's true. Can't fault them.
It's very good. Very, very good. I liked it.
You can get the full audio version of this show by subscribing to the RSS feed, which you can find at dlcpod.com. And you can support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/dlcpod, where you will get ad-free versions of the show, video versions of the show on demand, and a whole bunch of extra content, like Wednesday's show, paid DLC, including spoiler chats, so much more. That's patreon.com/dlcpod.